Oh my God, this is such a beautiful Sunday. I'm so excited. It feels so good outside. I'm here with my lady. We're going to do an episode of Women of the Stars with the beautiful Savita the Starseed. How are you doing today, Marvel Bliss?
I'm doing great. I hope everybody out there is doing good.
Yeah, I'm in front of my bead wall, y'all. This ain't nothing. I went to the bead show yesterday, lost my mind. I went to like 7 tables out of 20 and I walked out the building. I said, oh God, I got to get out of here. I'm like about to hyperventilate. I just had to fucking walk out. It was too much. It was so good. So many crystals.
Invite
Like,
somebody.
ah! So I had a good time. How was your weekend, Marvel?
Oh, it was great. I've been recouping from the conference and just all the traveling I've been doing. So I'm just catching up on some rest and re-energizing.
I
How
feel
about
like such a
you?
cheat. Yeah, I feel like such a cheat. I didn't have to drive, but Savita, we met you at the conference. How was your
Yeah.
experience? How was your weekend?
Oh man. Well, ever since the conference, it's been a lot energetically. But I'm still trying to recoup since then. Energetic fluctuations left and right, but still trying to recharge, because it's crazy. It was my first one personally, at
Me
least for
too.
this kind of topic. Yeah, so you know what I mean. The energy was just crazy in these rooms. But my weekend was also good, thank you. Like again, still trying to recoup. Just went food shopping.
I know.
Uh,
It's like blast of I feel great. Okay, I'm gonna
yeah. No, just out. Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
What was your biggest takeaway from the conference?
Oh man. So at the conference, there were quite a few things that stood out to me between types of UFOs that I saw like personally, not far from a couple of locations that they were mentioning at the conference. But as well as some dreams that I had clarified for me. Because you go through these moments and all these conferences and you have all these answers throughout your life that you're looking for. And it wasn't up until that conference I was able to have some resolution. But being able to find like-minded souls for the first time in person is a great motivator, and it helps relift your spirits and like remotivate you to keep going with what your mission is down here. Um, for me in particular, there was a part where some of the speakers from the conference, for example, Elena Denon, sorry, and Michael Sala, almost combined their last names for a second. They both had sections on, technology. Elena more focused on Star Nations. Dr. Sala focused more on U.S. Army, but there's some bridges between the two, as we may know in this kind of community. But both of them showed a rectangular craft that I particularly saw above my house in April, and my heart almost came out of my butt. I was a little struck for a second because when you try to find the experiences that you go through online on DuckDuckGo and Brave, not Google, you still can't find what you're looking for. Sometimes it could be really frustrating. And yeah, they each put it in their PowerPoints, and it was like, oh, okay. That was interesting because you're finally able to see, like I said, what you witnessed. You're able to have some answers. So whether it was military or Star Family, I'm leaning more towards Star Family because there was an orb too. But I thought it was cool how, these speakers from around the world, even in the audience, people from all around the world piled in that room. And it's like the whole world literally just came together for a weekend, and we're able to go back to our areas and spread information in person. And that's where we come into play because you and I, First Lady, are not too far apart. And that's what we should definitely do, as well as Marvel in your areas. Go out there and start making local groups, connecting, whether it's public meditations or something. We need to start getting a spiritual or starseed or light worker people of similar mindsets together so we can get more people on board. Because if it's just one person, it might look a little woo woo because you know how it is nowadays in society. But if you have a group together, I think it's more comforting for people to come by and maybe sit down with us or something. I don't know. It's just you see people need like time with the earth, you know? They like lost touch with it.
I don't even think people can really understand the level of what it means when you say like-minded. It doesn't mean like, oh, we just all like the same comic book. This
Yeah.
is so deep on such a great level that, you know, in the courtyard, I actually met two people that were literally my husband in a past life and his sister in a past life, and it sparked some type of recognition. So we're having like soul level recognitions. We're having I mean full resonance of what you believe, what you believe is important, what I believe is important, and we want to do the same thing. So this grid work that you're talking about, basically that's, you know, I perceive that as grid work. It's like spreading the World Wide Web, but we're doing it with grid work from city to city to literally take back the planet.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's how I see it. It's like so extremely important, the ideas that you have. So what even brought you to that point? Were you thinking about this before the conference, or did this get sparked by your connections?
Doing local stuff. It kind of was a mix between my awakening journey as well as like stuff that I've been I guess seeing or dreaming about since I was a kid. Because I had like a dream when I was in 8th grade, which is a good like 15 years ago for me at this point. Where basically it showed me this time period. I was shown this time period with the individuals that I'd be meeting now. So like my however young my little sister is, I saw the version of her now, like way back then. But what they showed me was that, you know, when it comes to people like us that are on board with this mass global awakening and trying to assist humanity, it showed us, you know, first connecting virtually. And, you know, as crazy social media can be, there has been a lot of pros to it. A lot of individuals like us would not have been able to reconnect had it not been for the internet. So at that point, we had the conference connect, and from then on out, we need to start doing things locally. So I was kind of told from like a young age, you know, once this is like over after the conference and you start to meet your like-minded soul brothers and sisters, cousins, aunts, uncles, whatever, that you're going to start going out locally. So it was like a mix of that plus the desire that, hey, we literally have people from every little point of this globe here. If all of us start doing things locally, we're going to be seeding the world, literally, like you said, grid work. So it's pretty interesting, and it's very important that anybody who attended that conference or is into this stuff in general just goes out there and makes the stuff happen. So that's how my interest in it happened. And, you know, I said for the longest time, like, I had a calling to take my singing bowl, Lamia, to a downtown area near me. But for some reason, I was just like, I don't want to do it by myself. I wish I had other people that could do that with me. And then here we are, meeting after the conference. So it's like a little bit of like manifesting / we all need to do this like it's planned, you know? It's
I
interesting.
totally get that, because see, now in 2020, this amazing bit of drama, so many things happened, and we, you know, it was like time to go inside, right? Time to pull it back. And I began to see that the world around us, like, oh, this is why my life is not successful. Because I was started to really, because people, it was the year of the mouth. I don't know if you knew that, like on the Jewish calendar, it was the year of the mouth. So everybody was just letting it out, everything that they thought, everything that they felt. Now you could really know who the people you were standing around. Like, oh, now I can really, really understand why things are happening around me, because I can really see who these people are. And it was time to retreat in a way of certain connections, right? And then there came this point where we were like, look what we just found on the internet. Like, look at and we start telling all the facts and all the theories and all the ideas, and people are like extremely for them or extremely against them. But now we've identified. Then it was a time to be quiet and not talk anymore. And we had to go amongst ourselves. And we found this new world online. And it was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So we connected with these people online, and then it's still that World Wide Web. We had our own World Wide Web, and now we brought it to the conference to take it out of the web back into the real world again. And it's amazing. This thing that we're doing is very extremely magical. And now it's okay for us to come back out and start to plant roots. A lot of people we've met online are like, oh, I'm so alone and I'm so, there's no one here. Are you finding that people are way closer to you than you thought they were? Like other people? So, I mean, how many did you meet that were possibly closer to you in your area or like making that connection?
Yeah, it's important for them to go out and figure that out. It can be tough at first because, you can't like walk around the street like, hey, you want to talk about ETs or something? Because not everyone's just gonna be like, yeah, sure, let's have a pint over some grays or something. As awesome as we want that to happen, as awesome as that would be, we'd have to be careful with how we just open up about it. It can be tough, but when you find the people that they are there, we just got to find better ways to bring locals together that are on board with this.
No, one thing that I did, because I was in a Sophia group where we read the Sophia Code book, I would know like, okay, people would be very close, very similar. So I started looking at see who else was in that group that was local. So definitely when you like, even if you're in your Andromedan group or your Lyran group, your Starseed groups online, find out who's near you. Or like me, I like beading. And every time I go to a bead show, I meet one of us.
Oh,
Yesterday I met another guy. He actually knows my teacher. So I'm like, oh, I'm
small
supposed
world,
to
yeah.
meet you. So, and then we go to the conference and we go to meet you. And I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I know what I'm interested in joining you. How many have you gathered so far to gather with you at the park?
So
And
at
talk more about that, like whatever you want to say about the park and how important it is and
for sure
what we plan on doing.
Yeah, totally. So at the moment, I have you and I for Hillsborough, I'll just say locals, or Tampa, Orlando, that kind of area. While I was at the conference, my mom was able to find somebody who was her bartender at Carrabba's. Don't know how that conversation happened, but she said that she was interested in Starseeds too. And I'm like, okay, well, dámelo, give me her information. I need it. So we got us three. And I know a couple of locals from like school, but for people that were at the conference, there's you and I, as well as 1, 2, 4 of us in total, and then the extra lady that my mom found, and then there's, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 more locals that I know, but they're like more up towards like Spring Hill kind of area. They weren't at the conference. I don't know how their schedules are, but at the moment I'll say that we have about a group of 10, but of course that does not include whoever else everybody else knows. Like we need to get lots of people over. So what I'm thinking is, when we first meet on Thursday, just gather together and explain or maybe come to a conclusion on what we would like for this to be for society, I guess I could say, because a lot of us want to help increase the vibration somehow or help shift the consciousness. Okay, but how can we do that in this group? So do we do it monthly, weekly? Do we use singing bowls? Do we use more than just singing bowls? Do we straight up meditate? Do we do yoga, or all of the above? Or do little mini groups, like you have like a group of 15 and like, oh, maybe 3 people can do yoga, 3 people can do singing bowls, and like alternate. So there's lots of opportunity, lots of different things that we can do. But the goal is to basically bring that woo-woo stuff back out into the public, because our ancient civilizations did this stuff like pack of wolves. It was totally normal. We feel this stuff is normal. So it's time that we bring that stuff back into society, because you don't see a lot of people out and about climbing trees or sitting beneath a tree, hugging a tree, or doing yoga, putting their feet in the grass. You don't see a lot of people doing this stuff. They are so accustomed and used to the matrix lifestyle. Like the fact that we were told to put on clothes, which, we can understand for different reasons, but in a spiritual sense, shoes, at least shoes. The fact that it's rubber and like, we can go into the chemical compounds, particularly of why they chose rubber or whatever, but we all know that blocks the energy from going into our feet. Like a lot of things have been stopping us to get back in touch with the earth and her heartbeat, you know? So it's good to get people to slow down their mind, feel their heart rate, and feel the heartbeat of the earth again and pay attention to that resonance. So as a collective, I think we'll bring a lot of change in. It's going to be fun.
It's so funny because you're talking about earthing and grounding, and I'll do it, and I'll go walk barefoot, and then I'll go get a pedicure, and I'm like, please forgive my feet.
Yeah, basically.
I'm like barefoot all the time. And I know Marvel, she goes out into the countryside and she does it with her singing bowl and her drums and stuff like that.
Oh,
yeah. I'm out in the woods all the time.
I love it.
So maybe, you know, I don't know, like, so Marvel's up there in North Carolina. What can she do? Like, can we all, like, anybody watching, maybe they could get to the point where we synchronize, where we're doing this all at the same time.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's start like a union of grid workers.
Grid workers union.
Schedule it at the same time.
Have our pail in our bucket.
Let's do it. Yes.
I'm all about that.
So what is this? Have we decided on the day of the month?
So far, so I think we'll just start with the first Thursday of every month in downtown Tampa. We'll figure out the location more specifically if we need to change it in the future. But for now, yeah, we're going to plan to do that. If we meet and we decide, you know, we need to change the date, we can do that, or have multiple days a month, or just screw it. We make an Excel sheet with everyone's availability and we just vote on a day, or we'll find ways. But for sure, Thursday, downtown Tampa, we're gonna start with that. So I think like 5 or 6 people for now. So we could kind of get this more structured. And then we'll have another one and bring more people into that. Because with the other individuals that I know that weren't at the conference, I was going to invite them like on the second session. That way, like we can start to form that structure and aim for what we want to do with this. You know what I mean? Because it's easier to collaborate and coordinate like that with like a smaller group of people that are on the same path trying to get this stuff done.
The standard, and then let other people join in. Like, oh, when do you do it? Okay. But you know, so somebody might be watching and they think, oh, well, I can't do it exactly at that time. Well, you know, time is relevant.
Yeah.
Irrelevant, right?
Yeah.
And if your heart says that you're with us at that time, then whenever you do it, then you'll be there at that time. We welcome all in the spirit of that. So here we are, we can quantumly come together. No matter where we are. And that's what I would like to see, is this global connection where we're in the same mind space, in the same heart space. And that's what's going to be so powerful. And I think we're going to really flip this place upside down.
Yes.
I really think so, as we start to do more and more activities like this. So I commend you. I'm looking forward to it. Then I can now learn from you and bring that back here to Orlando or Apopka. Well, we have public parks, and I have some ideas too about just people meeting at the different public parks.
Yeah.
Not gonna spill the beans yet because I have some research to do, but yeah, we got some work to do, ladies, and I'm looking forward to it. And Stephanie's been doing this for so long. She sends back her pictures of her with the sun, and she's like, oh.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that, Stephanie, though?
2007.
Oh my gosh. You all are so fortunate. I'm happy for you. You know, and I'm in a tiny slight way jealous, but that you guys have this for such a long time. And I'm like, you know, I feel so late, but you know, I'm okay. I'm gonna be all right.
You're not.
Yeah,
and all it takes is that one person to help with the morphogenetic field when you do this kind of work. So even though I may be doing it as long as I have, you might have the right codes to bring in some more stuff for the planet and for our DNA activation. So don't sell yourself short, because I know you got.
If I could just think like to be 12 or 18 and that happens, that would be amazing. But you know what? Like you say, it is the right place and the right time. And I feel so good. I mean, I told Stephanie the feeling of love we had was like little boba tea bubbles just popping in your mouth. It was just like, oh my God, I feel so good. Are you happy? Okay.
Yeah.
It's so crazy, the feeling.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your show, because you're about to go film shortly yourself.
Oh, yes. So I have a YouTube channel, Savita the Starseed, literally is the name. I have a couple of videos posted on there. Little bit of music I'm starting to get on there too. But I have a show on there. There's not really a schedule, so it's more of whenever. Called Interview with the Starseed, similar to the movie Interview with a Vampire. But you know, we're not here sucking blood or anything, but it's where I bring on fellow Starseeds and they talk about their journeys. I give them the same I think it's about like 10 or 12 questions for each guest, but it helps break down, you know, who they are, what their journey is, what their mission is, the gifts that they have, how their awakening happened, who they resonate to being wise, and how they came down to it, just so fellow Starseeds, you know, like us, can resonate to it. There are so many people going through this kind of body change, all of this crazy mind change, so many things changing around them that they have no idea why, or they try to look it up and they might misdiagnose themselves from Google. Like, we don't need that. So that way, you know, people can share their story. We need stuff like this told, and there are many, many people that need to hear what you have to say. So it's time to confidently talk about, you know, who you are and know that you're not crazy. We are all starseeds, all light workers sent here to change the human consciousness, and we're going to get it done. So, yes.
Yes. So, I'm not going to ask you to go all into it because Savita just did an episode with Robert Earl and Lily.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And can you just give us a little bit about that? Because people might want to go to Robert Earl's channel and check that out.
For sure. Yeah, so the three of us, we actually did a back-to-back 3 live streams. Robert Earl White from Order of Light, Lily Nova Starseed, and I, Savita the Starseed. We started at mine, then Robert's, then Lily's, and we just we went on each of our channels to give a quick summary of the conference and what we took away from it, as well as like any experiences that we happened to go through. So my video was focused more on the different speakers, as well as a little bit of our experiences. Robert's was more focused on experiences, and Lily was a little mix of the two. So if you want to hear more about the speakers, we go into depth more on my channel in specific. But it was freaking awesome being able to see them in person, because I've known of these people since wintertime earlier this year, and oh my God, seeing them in person, man, Robert's tall and Lily's a little short. I'm just like, oh wow, like it's finally nice to see more than just a screen. So it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. Robert wants to bring me on his channel. He said sometime later in November, so that way people can my story and stuff like that. So that I'm excited for too. But he's coming on tonight. Yes.
I'm gonna be seeing him in mid-November. I was like, oh my God, I love your freaking shoes. Those little Clarks you had on. I was like, oh my God. The man with the chicken. And I really was thinking his little outfit. I was just like,
I was like, oh, you got a chicken. That's so freaking cute.
Where your girlfriend at, bro? Where your girlfriend at? You know you ain't right. Don't come out here without your girlfriend.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he done lit me up during my birthday at that little liquor bottle. Like, what?
Oh man.
Okay, so yeah, I don't drink like that, but yeah, we have
me either. Yeah, other things, not liquor, but
yeah,
it can be a little, but
yeah. He came in there like a little problem starter with that, but everything worked out, y'all. Everything is fine. Everybody's still intact. Yeah, I had to sing happy birthday or get sang and all that stuff like that. I couldn't have asked for a better birthday weekend. I'm gonna tell you, I had a fabulous time, and I appreciate Danny so much love and support she showed to us. And I'm probably still gonna have to get a video copy of the speakers because I didn't get to see it all. So
apparently they're gonna post it later somewhere, because they did record the whole thing, and I hope to God they post everything, because same también, I want to see it all again. It was too much information.
Yeah,
and just like
a lot of information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially for some friends and families of mine, like on a personal standpoint, they were like, hey, I want to hear about it, or I want to see, you know, and I'm like, well, you could go on my channel, watch the videos, but they want to see like the actual information that they were talking about, which I completely understand because over 3 days of like 10 hours of
Yeah,
so much
where you at for
information.
3 days? Where you was at for 3 days, Savita?
Yeah.
Come behind back in the house, like.
I was in that conference room like, oh my God, like the whole time, like my mouth
I
was just,
cried.
yeah,
Immediately
lots of
I cried.
tears.
Alex, I
Yeah.
was just like, okay, this is good for
Oh
me.
yeah.
I just
Yeah.
so how do we find you? Tell us all your call letters, and if people want to email you, whatever information you want to give, so everybody can get in contact with this beautiful, lovely soul, and you can find out more about how we can join this grid worker union that we're gonna be doing here.
For sure. So you could find me at Savita the Starseed at most of the, well, I'm mostly active on Insta, Twitter, and TikTok. If you find my YouTube channel, I got a link tree and all the bios on all my platforms, so you'll be able to find everything from there. And if you are interested in wanting to come on and talk about your Starseed story, please find a way to DM me and we'll coordinate. We've got about a good 10 people I'd like to bring on starting now. So we're gonna have a lot more people coming on, so we need to hear more
Yeah,
stories.
like me, girl. I gotta
That's
get
what I'm
on.
saying. You included, you ladies included. Like I'm already thinking, I want to have all the people I met from the GSIC in this. So Robert Earlwaite's going to be the first, and then I'm going to bring Brad, and then a couple other ladies from a Telegram group, and like get down the line. Like let's go, and then maybe a bigger one where multiple of us come on. Or I wanted to do a session where I have like a good chunk of my previous guests back on to talk about maybe some updates on how they've been in their personal journey since I've had them on. Because like I said, people need to start talking about this. It's not taboo. It's not a cult. It's a movement. Just wanted to make that very clear that if there's anybody taking advantage of the Starseed name, just know it is a movement, not a cult. This is not Heaven's Gates. Because so many people have been making those accusations, and it's like, no, I'm sorry. I can understand why you're concerned because we have a history of, you know, stuff like that. But this is a movement.
Well, you know what I think that the problem is that because it's closeted and it's hidden and it's been made to seem like a joke to make people look mentally frail.
Yeah.
That's what leaves people vulnerable to cult leaders.
Yeah.
Because it's so hush hush that it's easy for you to grab me and say, hey, you know, and let's keep this. And now I can manipulate you because this is in this quiet space where let's just talk about it. The more we talk about it, the more you find out that your neighbor felt it, the guy behind here, the person at church, the person at the gas station, like plenty of people are seeing stuff and know stuff and feel stuff and they witness. And it's not just you. It's actually way more prevalent than you think. And that we've been just blowing it off and we've been learning to suppress it, ignore it, and reason it down, you know, just, you know, we've been, how do you say, making it little. We're learning to just push it all down and not discuss it.
Yeah,
and
to suppress it, yeah.
Now we become these little robots who have to worry about what other people think and how people feel about us. And I got to control every aspect of myself in this presentation, or I can just be free.
Yeah, basically.
I have to be free. So,
yep.
Middle fingers up, bam, to anybody.
Bam!
Yeah. I keep saying I don't have enough fucks for you. You know what I'm saying? So like, hey, I can let them out. I know. But yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving your energy, and I'm just wishing you luck today on your recording. And you have a great evening. Marvel, did you have anything you wanted to share with her?
I loved you, and I so enjoyed our time at Disney together, and I was so happy to share that beautiful moment with both of you ladies because I think we both kind of felt the magic. So that was very fun. I really enjoyed that.
We felt all of that. Yeah.
We flew the birds. We were the birds.
Aside from the lady's butt crack in the picture, but it was awesome.
About that, yes.
It turns out, Because remember how we switched and you took two of me? The same thing happened to me. She had her butt crack in one, but not the other because my arm covered it.
I
And I'm
didn't
just
even
like,
notice it until like I was like, wait a second. And then I zoomed in. I was like, oh my gosh.
it's just like, oh, that's nice,
The
but it's all
timing.
good.
It was just great.
That was too funny. Well, hell yeah, this was awesome.
Yeah.
So thanks for having me on, and we are going to see each other on Thursday, First Lady. We're still down.
That's right. That's
4
right.
p.m. 4 p.m. downtown Tampa. I will let you know the park name, and we're gonna get this started.
Okay. Have a good night.
All
You
right,
as
good
well.
night. Mwah.